Welcome back to Redbird Arena, the championship game of the Missouri Valley Conference Women's Basketball Tournament between the 8-seed Illinois State and the 2-seed Indiana State. The winner gets an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. Jim Weedy has been here before, just 2 short years ago. He had the Sycamores in the finals in Des Moines against Southwest Missouri State, but lost. He's 4-4 in conference tournament play. And let's check in now with our lineups, a presentation of Bud Light. This is Weedy's lineup. Coach talked about Clark and Beglin, but now all 5 of these players had played at a high level, not only the last 2 months, but in this tournament. We'll talk about it as the day goes on, but there's been several players that have had careers in either scoring or rebounding in this tournament. For Illinois State, it's a lineup that's blessed with seniors. Donovan's a senior. McCormick. Herrikus has been very fruitful inside for this team, along with Hallstrom, a junior college transfer, and then the MAC attack. McCracken and McCormick have been really unbelievable in the first 2 games of the tournament. And on the bench for Illinois State, Robin Pinchton, last year's Valley Coach of the Year. Pinchton, longtime coach at St. Ambrose in Iowa, then was an assistant at Iowa State, and this year has her team on the verge of making the NCAA tournament, even though they've won just 12 games and lost 17. And now let's check in with the Chrysler Keys to the Game with Coach Jill Hutchison, brought to you by Chrysler, where inspiration comes standard.
Illinois State has got to control boards, and in the last 7 games, Indiana State has dominated boards. That'll be a challenge. Also handling the pressure. These 2 teams met a week ago. Illinois State turned the ball over 16 times in the first half, 26 for the game. So that's going to be critical against the Indiana State pressure. The transition defense is always a focus against the Redbirds. They like to run in transition, shoot the 3 quickly, spread you out. And the big 3, and we'll talk about the big 3 with both teams quite a bit. McCracken, McCormick, and Donovan. 3 perimeter players that make the Redbirds go here.
Let's take a look at the series history, brought to you by Sirius Satellite Radio, with over 120 channels of commercial-free music, news, talk, and sports. For the car, home, or anywhere you go, get Sirius today. Ride the big dog. This has been very even. 23-21 during the Valley regular season. The first possession, Indiana State with a miss under the goal. Illinois State has it back. Game on with the women in the Valley. An NCAA ticket is at stake. And an immediate turnover by Katie Donovan for the Redbirds.
They're looking a little tight to start this, Mitch. I think both teams may be, and I'm sure they're going to loosen up as it moves along.
Jill, the first 2 games for Illinois State, in the first 4 or 5 minutes of each game, the Redbirds have come out and kind of set the tempo for the remainder of the game with their spark and energy.
No question, they have played with tremendous intensity in this tournament, led by their defense, and that's surprising. They have not been a good defensive team until lately in the season.
Foul is going to be on Indiana State. It'll be on Melanie Beglin trying to get an offensive rebound.
The officials already having to talk to these players to try and keep this game opened up a little bit.
You mentioned the defense has been better, and it's really a marked improvement. When they were near the bottom defensively in points allowed during the season, but in the last 4 games, 35% from the field by Redbird opponents.
That's tremendous. And in this tournament alone, they've only given up 52.5 points a game against their 2 opponents. And that's the #1 and really a second-place team in the Valley, Northern Iowa.
Clark gets challenged inside. Holly Hallstrom took it right at her, but good defense by Ashley Clark, the newcomer of the year in the Valley. Lish has missed early here. Beglin's hustle saves it.
Beglin's intensity really makes a difference for the Sycamores. When she starts out strong, looking for her penetrations. Whoa.
Beerhoff has been tough from 3. She's the career percentage 3-point shooter in Indiana State history. In 1 game, she had 7 threes. I've lost track of how many big shots Jackie McCormick has made in this tournament.
It's amazing. And last-second shots to win ball games this season. She just has the poise. And you can see there, if they give her a step, she's going to take that shot all day.
Jill, tell us about this zone that Illinois State likes to run and how Indiana State plans to attack it.
This is a matchup. Robin Pinchton worked for Bill Finley at Iowa State, and I think picked up a lot of concepts from his matchup zone.
Clark's all over the place.
Birds in this defense really like to either follow the pass like Katie Donovan just did to that short corner, and that's a tough follow to get there in time to stop the short corner. And obviously Indiana State is going to attack the short corner until Illinois State can cut that off.
Kristen Weddle with the short corner basket, her first points. It is 5-3 Indiana State. Weddle had a career high 17 here in the quarterfinals. McCormick's going to get free throws.
Indiana State will have a difficult time matching up with Jackie McCormick. She is not the quickest, fastest thing on the floor, but what she does well is change speed. And I think it's so deceptive that players have trouble. Change speed and change direction both.
McCormick, a senior from Idaho from the Nez Perce tribe. We'll talk about that a little bit later. McCormick, a 76% shooter at the foul line for the year. But the only Valley player now the last 2 years that's been in the top 10 assists, 3-point field goals, and steals. This is a league that has had Carrie Koch and Jenny Linger.
That's true. And a lot of players, a lot of great perimeter players in the Missouri Valley Conference, to be quite honest.
5-4. Sycamores lead by a digit. Played 3 minutes in the championship game. Beglin got a good look. Left it short.
Jim Weedy feels that Beglin's ability to penetrate the zone is critical to their offense, and she started out very aggressively there.
Good take inside. The inside play for Illinois State has probably got lost in the whole Mac attack stuff, but their inside people, Jill, have been solid.
You know, Holly Hallstrom has typically been a great defensive player for the Birds and a good matchup against taller players. Hot and cold on offense.
Good hustle by the Redbirds. Slapped out to McCracken. Heracus with good hustle. Hallstrom runs the floor and has benefited with a basket.
That's what Jim Weedy was worried about, taking away that transition offense. The Birds really get up and down the floor.
Beglin creates the contact. She'll go to the line.
Holly Hallstrom just a little late getting there, but Beglin continues to penetrate that zone. You know, Jim Weedy feels like there's a lot of gaps in the zone, and I think we're going to see Beglin going after that a lot today.
Beglin, an 82% foul line shooter. Again, it bears repeating. She's second in the nation in steals. And in this league, you almost have to lead the nation in steals to lead the league. You got Savon Chong from Drake. You got Spanheimer from Creighton, even throwing some SMS players. This is a steely kind of league.
It is a steely league, but again, it's a great perimeter league this year. And in the past, we've had a little bit more balance, but I think the Valley has been blessed with some great perimeter shooters and defenders.
Played 4 minutes, 8-7 Illinois State. McCracken been hot the whole tournament. Weddle, that's way short.
That's Weddle's strength, though, and she will be looking for that 3 ball.
McCormick and Beglin matched up. Hallstrom, deep catch, and a chance for an and-one opportunity. Holly Hallstrom has 6 early points for the Redbirds.
Birds really like to push the ball. Indiana State totally lost Hallstrom. She averages 7 points a game. She's already got 6, and Birds 6 points in the paint. The Sycamores 0.
At 4 for 6, including 2 Hallstrom layups in transition, then a short jumper in the lane. No 3-point play, however, as Hallstrom misses. She's only 54% at the line for the year. Beglin goes right after the top of that matchup zone to get an easy bucket for Nikki Hall.
Nice dump. When she penetrates, draws the defense, there's really nobody to cover the post off of that short baseline.
3 non-starters on the floor here for Indiana State. Jim Weedy is not afraid to use his bench.
No, and Ann Thatcher is on the floor. She broke her wrist 2 weeks ago and has played very little since then.
Nikki Hall with a steal. Tied up underneath with Hallstrom. Hall runs the floor at the other end. Nikki Hall only averages 3 points a game. She gets 4 points in a 30-second span.
I think Nikki Hall is the secret weapon for Indiana State. State. She has gotten so much better in the last half of this season. It's mind-boggling.
She played at Hutchinson Community College in the Jayhawk Conference. McCracken in trouble. Sees Hall's going to attack here. She does and scores. Nikki Hall, 6 points in just over a minute. And in games like these, sometimes it's the other players that step up, and Nikki Hall's doing it, and Indiana State forces a turnover.
Nikki Hall's as athletic as anybody here. She takes, I'm kind of surprised to see her handling the ball full court here, and she goes all the way to the bucket. Nice play. Indiana State's got some great depth, and that could be the difference in this ball game, Mitch.
13-10. Nikki Hall, 6 unanswered points for Indiana State, and again, she only averages 3 per game. McCormick comes back. McCormick against Beglin. Hallstrom, tough underneath. Illinois State, and this is a golden opportunity to score.
Boy, Indiana State's pushing the ball just as much as the Redbirds today.
Beglin drills the 3, her 14th of the year.
When Indiana State starts hitting on all cylinders, they are tough to defend.
Donovan, good take to the basket, and she's fouled. Rodolfi trying to come over to help there, too late.
You know, really, the Sycamores have 4 kids who are averaging almost double figures. Verhoff is at 9.7, but, you know, Beglin can shoot the 3. She can penetrate. They've got Clark, who can do it all day, and Lish has had a tremendous tournament so far. In fact, she's shooting 70% from the floor in this tournament.
Down over the line, you look at Melanie Beglin. Her 3, part of the rally. Donovan, the Canadian, last year led the Valley in scoring. She was the nation's most improved scorer a year ago. This year, her numbers have dropped off some, but with the Mac attack, she hasn't had to do all the scoring.
And really, it's probably contributed in so many other ways, including rebounding and assists.
Beglin is going at the basket in a hurry. This is Lish. And an and one opportunity for Stephanie Lish.
I'll tell you what, Lish has just been unstoppable in this tournament, and her strength is going to the basket there, without a doubt. She's leading the tournament in scoring at 20.5 points a game, 70% field goal.
Lish, whose dad, Rusty, was a Chicago Bears quarterback, cannot get the 3-point play, and Indiana State leading 17-12. Robin Pinchon trying to use her bench here. Tiffany Hudson in the lineup now, as well as Amber Shelton.
Well, I tell you, Mel Beglin gets her hand on so many balls. It's just mind-boggling.
McCracken with the pull-up. That's off. And chased down by Rachel Menpaw of Indiana State.
Now, that short jumper is something that Megan McCracken has been hitting in the first 2 games of the tournament.
That shot way off. Donovan with a tough rebound. And Menpaw's picked up the foul. 5 team fouls on Indiana State at the 12:36 mark of the first half.
Rebounds are pretty even so far in this game. 7 for the Sycamores, 8 for the Redbirds.
And that's been a part of this great streak by Jim Wheaty's team. 14-1 since January 16th. The rebounding's been huge for this team.
Well, and in the last 7 games, it's been even bigger. I think he made it a focus late in the season, and as soon as he did, it started making a huge difference.
AeroPost.com. Spell it out. AeroPost. Ailey.com. Proud to sponsor the Valley all season long. 8 to shoot here. And McCormick's nowhere to be found. She's resting right now, but Tiffany Hudson, only her 7th 3 of the season, Jill. It was huge.
That was huge for a freshman out of Naperville. That's a young lady that passed to Candace Parker last year, and she can do it herself.
The great Tennessee freshman Candace Parker, a high school teammate. McCracken down. Alert play by Menpaw behind the transition. out to Indiana State. 17-15. Indiana State with a 2-point lead. 11:44 remaining in the half. Tiffany Hudson, a giant three to help the Redbirds.
Ton of heart, and they've put up good numbers. They've got a 20-win season, and hopefully after winning the NIT last year, they'll be considered again.
There's your three-point shooting. The Redbirds with a couple of them. Minpaw had a great look inside, not able to finish, but Indiana State keeps it. Verhoff air balls, and Illinois State has it back and a chance to tie or take the lead. Beglin has the only there's two threes for Indiana State, Verhoff and Beglin.
Redbirds staying with Tiff Hudson at the point here.
Donovan easy.
That was a clear out for Katie Donovan. And she's exceptionally good, especially on her right side.
Only 4 points at Indiana State a week ago in the season finale. Tied at 17. And now Illinois State on a run. After they survived that Indiana State sizz by Hall and Beglin, they can get the lead here.
Robin Pinchton trying to get something set up here. I'm not sure the kids know what she's wanting.
Well, she's rested Jackie McCormick here for a good long time here to try to keep her fresh in the second half. Donovan turns. No. And the rebound to Minpaw of Indiana State.
Well, I'm sure they're going to try and post Katie Donovan in there if Verhoff continues to guard her.
Clark, little give and go with Beglin, and a foul on Illinois State. Ashley Clark yet to score after she exploded for 24 on Drake.
Well, the surprising part is the two unexpected players that are scoring. 6 points for Nikki Hall and Holly Hallstrom, both the inside players, and kids that are coming in. Well, Hallstrom started, Nikki Hall off the bench.
Robin Pinchton able to set down Jackie McCormick for a while, and you look at the minutes that she has played in this tournament, she has been an iron woman.
Well, the big three for Illinois State. McCracken 39 minutes, McCormick 37, and Donovan 37.5 over the 2-game period. And we really wonder how much that's going to affect them down the stretch in this ball game.
Beglin hits 1 of 2 at the line. But you can see the Illinois State staff made a conscious effort of thinking, okay, we have got to sub these kids out at some point or they're not going to have any legs in the second half. 9:58 remaining. Indiana State leading by 1. There's your minutes, Jill.
Well, and look at the average of the 3 bigs on both teams. Almost 10 minutes more per game for the Redbirds. Indiana State was able to rest on the first game against Bradley, and they put their bench in for at least the last 10 minutes.
Bucket by Amber Shelton. And the freshman gets her first 2 points of the game. Illinois State regains the lead, 19-18. Beglin this time, her penetration leads to a steal.
Illinois State doing a much better job taking care of the ball today than they did a week ago at Terre Haute. 16 turnovers in that first half.
Hallstrom traveled. Post defense by Ashley Clark.
Yeah.
Let's take a look, Jill, at our Valley standings, brought to you by Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
This has been quite an interesting year in the Valley. SMS wins the regular season with a 15-3 record. The last weekend there were 3 teams tied for second, and you see 13-5. Indiana State, Northern Iowa, Creighton. Indiana State ended up getting the tiebreaker. Creighton third, Northern Iowa fourth. You know, any of them have a shot at an NIT bid.
All right, here it is again. Now you think about postseason. Of course, the winner of this game goes to the NCAA tournament, and these others, SMS still waiting for possible NCAA at large. However, if not, then they think WNIT.
Absolutely. And, you know, SMS, Indiana State, UNI, all with 20-win seasons. UNI had their best season ever. And disappointing loss in the semis to the Redbirds last night.
Clark all the way to the glass, and she will go to the line.
That must have been a foul on McCormick.
First foul on McCormick.
As much as Indiana State was concerned about the Redbirds transition, Indiana State is pushing the ball every possession right now. Birds at times not getting their defense set to face the ball.
Ashley Clark made the all-freshman team in the Mid-America Conference when she was at Kent State. Set out her transfer year last year at Indiana State, but the newcomer of the year in the Valley. 15 points a game, 81% at the line. And you've thought that she has been, if not the difference, a huge difference in this 14-1 Indiana State.
I think she is the difference. She gives them an inside presence that they have not had for a couple of years. And you know what I like about her? She is so smooth. I mean, she does things effortlessly, and she's heady. She knows what's going on around her. She understands the game.
Well, I'll give you a little coachy term here. No wasted motion.
Absolutely.
You know, everything's got a purpose with her.
You're absolutely right. She can defend. She can score. I just really like the way. And I don't actually know the vote, but I would guess that it was an uncontested Newcomer of the Year award.
Turnovers 8 for Illinois State. Again, they turned it over 26 times a week ago at Indiana State. Clark in there too tough, the defense for Illinois State. This is out off of the Birds. Steve Stelzis giving the ball to Indiana State.
Would you say that these two teams are fighting for the boards here? Watch this. When the shot goes up, there are 4 kids going in there. That could have been a little questionable on the contact. Ashley Clark keeps going after it, though.
10 to shoot here. Lish. And Illinois State's defense has been pretty good here the last couple of minutes. Once again, Hallstrom runs the floor. No travel.
She almost had too much time down there, Mitch. Great pass by Megan McCracken, but she did a nice job waiting for the defense to go by, and I think she has a habit of shuffling her feet. That call was made on her last night as well.
You know, she got the attention of everyone. She played junior college basketball at Kirkwood in Iowa. It's going to be a legal screen. If it's on Menpaw, it's her second. It's 16 fouls now at Indiana State. We're tied at 19 with the under 8 timeout.
They really have been good, Mitch.
Yeah, they have.
I think they've taken good care of us.
McCormick on the press break has numbers. Decides to crank it herself. Beglin. Hall's going to the line, set up by Mel Beglin.
That's becoming quite a nice combination with Hall on that baseline. Beglin drawing the defense and dumping off.
Well, it's no mystery. When Melanie Beglin's got the ball today, you know where she's going.
She's going to that bucket, and if she doesn't have it, she's going to find somebody. But, you know, 5 assists a game and 15 points. I always like to see guards who score and give it up. I think that makes them so much more effective.
See Beglin, we talked about her second in steals in the NCAA, but sets up her teammates very well. Nikki Hall right now is a story of this first half. Yeah. She's got 8, and that gives her team the lead.
Nikki Hall could end up careering on this ball game.
Lazy pass, Jackie McCormick, and Beglin's going to make her pay for it. Again, second in the nation in steals, and that leads right to a bucket.
4 points, a pretty good cushion for Indiana State. And now it's going to make the Birds a little bit more tentative with their passing because Indiana State's being much more aggressive, stepping into those passing lanes.
10 turnovers, Jill, for Illinois State in the first half. We're at the 7-11 mark. Donovan sets up Hericus. Out to Indiana State. Last touch by Amber Shelton. Here's Melanie Beglin, does what she does best.
You know what's good about her? She anticipates great off the ball, and she's just as good on the ball. I mean, you got to worry about her wherever she is. And, you know, not all defenders are quite like that. They usually have a strength one place or the other.
She's always lurking around. Thatcher for 3. And Thatcher, her 36th 3 of the year, shooting 37% beyond the arc. It's been a game of runs. Indiana State's got one now.
Thatcher can hardly hold the ball in a normal stance there with her broken wrist.
7-point lead for the Trees. At halftime, we'll have our Cardinal Glennon halftime report. Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, where our love for kids just keeps on growing. Illinois State was able to answer the last run by Indiana State with a run of their own. We'll see what the Birds do here.
Illinois State a little more methodical here, but credit the Indiana State defense taking away some options.
McCracken yet to score. This is McCormick. She's got that up and under move down. She's
just so smooth. She's got a great step through, and that is so hard to defend because you come up to take the shot away, she steps around you either foot.
Nikki Hall going right back to the line. She gets fouled by Hallstrom. Now watch her footwork here. This is Jackie McCormick.
She draws the defense up, steps right around. And it's a great move.
You know, you don't see very many players do it that often.
No, in fact, I think it's becoming a lost art that is really, really a great technique. And typically, I think you see it more with post players than you do perimeter players, because that's a long stride for her to get past the defense. But good head and shoulder ball fake and stepping through is a great move.
The bench for Indiana State has been a factor. This person, Nikki Hall, has 9 of the 12, 10 of the 13 off the bench. 4 of 4 at the line.
Jim Weedy has just put together a great group of players here. Good chemistry, good teamwork, and good balance.
It's been the story of the tournament. Clark and Beglin go nuts on Drake in the semis. In the quarterfinals, Lish goes nuts along with Kristen Wetter. I mean, they're just taking turns who's having the big game.
No question. And that's good when you've got that many different kids who can contribute.
Thatcher for 3 again, not this time. I don't know if Thatcher going through the trauma of a broken wrist or losing her jersey in the Florida tournament.
Oh, yeah.
She was wearing 14. That's just wear 10. Somebody down in Florida is wearing an Indiana State jersey.
They must have been in big demand down in Florida. Indiana State doing a nice job controlling tempo when they choose to. And credit their ball handling.
Beglin. McCormick looking at her, saying, I know where you're going. 6 to shoot. Steal this time for the Birds. Shelton got it. McCracken has yet to score, Jill.
And that could make a difference in this ball game. She's been kicking in 16 points a game along with McCormick, and they're going to need that production.
Donovan. Great pass, and Herricus gets her first points.
2 seniors that have played together for 4 years.
Jim Whitty wants a 30-second timeout. Finally gets it. 28-23 Indiana State at the 4:29 mark of the first half.
Weedy. He has a 5-point lead, but he didn't like his defense, and he wanted to extend that lead.
Kraken stays in front of Beglin. It's going to be a hold. This on Herricus holding Clark.
Illinois State working really hard to front the post inside here.
It's 3 on Herricus. 17 fouls now on Robin Pinchin's Illinois State Redbirds.
Young lady that's not played at all in this tournament, LaShawn Johnson out of Chicago, seeing her first action. Robin Pinchin definitely going to her bench now.
Johnson made a splash early, 11 rebounds in a loss against Kansas State. 1-1, missed. Sandstead trying to get something going here. Donovan has it with 10 to shoot.
Nice defense right now by Indiana State.
It's a hand check on Verhoff. First foul on Verhoff, but that puts Illinois State in the bonus. Free throws we come back. Congratulations to Illinois State for doing a fabulous job of hosting this tournament. I mean, they've done a fabulous job. Linda Herman, the interim athletic director here at Illinois State, and her people You're going to leave somebody out, but Leanna Borders and Larry Lyons and Todd Kober and Tom LaMonica and down and on the, they have done a great job. There's a look at Linda Herman, the interim athletic director. Hadn't been an easy year for her sitting there with Larry Lyons because she's had to fill in the gap, but she's done a great job of putting this show on.
I think Illinois State has always taken pride in their game management, and needless to say, it takes a lot of time and effort to put on a tournament, and the Valley's finding that out, running the men's Final Four this season. And, you know, any of these conference or first, second, third, fourth round tournaments are a challenge.
Redbirds have hosted tournaments before. The 1999 Midwest Regional was here, won by Purdue. That fueled the Boilermakers onto a women's national championship. Stephanie White-McCarty and others on that Purdue team. Clark walk with it. And the inside presence of the freshman LaShawn Johnson, forcing Indiana State into a turnover.
Clark trying that step through, just made a mistake of changing her pivot foot. But she's got the right idea inside there.
28-25, Illinois State hanging in there with 3:37 left in the first half. Interesting, Robin pinched, and really in the first two games didn't use her bench much at all, and right now the bench has really helped her.
No question. Well, I think there's got to be some fatigue, and they're going to hope they can get these kids producing second half.
McCracken gets her first field goal. That's a 3 to go with 2 made free throws, and the Iowa State transfer with 5 ties the game at 28.
I'll tell you, when you shoot the 3, you can tie a game up in a hurry.
Beglin, contact, offensive foul. That's the second foul on Beglin.
That'll be interesting because Jim Wheaty's going to have to sit her down. That's going to put Lisa Verhoff as a ball handling guard right now. Verhoff certainly a nice player, but not the penetrator or the defender that Mel Beglin is. I'll tell you what, we got to talk about Kristen Weddle. She, to me, is the glue that holds this team together, and I've got to believe she's going to rally the troops here.
The rally, however, is Illinois State's right. Now they have the lead. Amber Shelton using her body to get the shot up and in. She's got 4. The Redbirds on a run to lead 30-28. A 9-0 Illinois State Redbird over the last 95 seconds.
That is the 5th lead change in this game. It's as competitive as we expected it to be, Mitch. It'll be interesting to see what kind of momentum change we see with Beglin on the bench.
Jackie McCormick. Now, we have seen just a couple casual passes from Jackie. She talks with Katie Donovan, a little bit of a communication problem. That's like a quarterback and a wide receiver going, where were you going? But a couple of turnovers here by McCracken, or by Jackie McCormick, yeah.
Well, I think Indiana State's playing good denial. Donovan trying to use that backdoor cut.
Illinois State very aggressive defensively. Manpaw. This is going to be on the Redbirds. Donovan.
Good call. Donovan just did not get position there. And a good job by Manpaw to attack the basket. Donovan steps in here. Oh, look at the scrum for the ball. These teams are going to go after one another. Katie just did not get position before Manpaw started to the basket.
Manpaw, 60% shooter. She's going to get a couple here. Indiana State at the line struggling here now. They are 8 of 12. They have been picking up 19 makes a game in the last 21 at the foul stripe.
Rachel Manpaw is a kid that started a good percentage of the first half of the season and has come off the bench since. That's always a tough transition for a kid.
1-point lead for the Birds, under 2 minutes remaining in the first half. The winner goes to the NCAA tournament. Illinois State is the 8th seed. They have a 12-17 record. The team in red playing on their home floor. McCormick, this is a shot she's been making all tournament.
And it's an unorthodox shot, Mitch. She's got a swing, comes back behind her head.
33-29, 2 3-point makes for Jackie McCormick. Indiana State has not had a field goal in almost 5 minutes until Weddle on cue drills the 3.
Weddle played high school ball with Melanie Beglin and was a leading scorer on that team. She is more than capable of shooting the three. Hasn't been as consistent this season as I think she would like to be.
Had 3 against Bradley in the quarterfinals on the way to career high 17. There's a bad shot inside, but it's rebounded by the Redbirds. It's going to be a tie-up. Let's go to Illinois State on the arrow.
It's going to be hard to take the ball away from a LaShawn Johnson. She's a strong young lady.
Freshman from Chicago. But with Hericus in foul trouble, she's given post minutes here to Robin Pinchton. Now the shot clock is at 5. McCracken, good take on her strong hand. This is out of bounds, though, to Indiana State. There was 1 to shoot as the attempt went up. Illinois State leading 33-32, 48.8 seconds remaining in the first half. A look at Megan McCracken, the Iowa State transfer. 35 points in the first 2 games of this tournament. 19-second differential. Shot clock and game clock. Lish gets an open lane to the basket. Fresh shot clock for Indiana State. They can play now for the last shot. Trevor Weddle's going to go to the basket. LaShawn Johnson gets the board and a foul on Indiana State. Weddle goes down hard as she was trying to get it away from LaShawn Johnson. Kristen Weddle was called for the foul, and Jill, she not only gets the foul, she goes down hard, running into LaShawn Johnson, which can't be any fun.
You know, Weddle's a kid that had an ACL when she was playing at Toledo, transferred back to Indiana State. I don't know if it's her knee or what happened to her going down there.
We just saw the replay, Jill. She took a shot to the face.
She's a tough kid, though, and she'll come back.
See LaShawn Johnson here with it, and then just taking and throwing the elbow. That's what got Indiana State's attention. They were wanting an offensive foul on Johnson. And I mean, Weddle takes a shot. Johnson to the line, but she's only 39%, and this is 1-1. She's 48%. Now, they're going to have to sub for Kristen Weddle, but Jim Wheaty's hot here. As you saw the replay, he may have a little bit of a beef here because he saw the offensive player swing the arm, Jill, and Weddle's got to come out because the trainer gave some attention to Kristen Weddle. And well, Thatcher comes in.
I'm sure Jim Wheaty's got good reason to be concerned about this. It's a good break for the Birds. If there's any advantage for Indiana State, Johnson is not a good free throw shooter.
Again, just 39%. This one's live. Rebound to Illinois State. They can play for the last shot. A 3, McCracken. Shelton. Indiana State still has time. Lish. No. The follow. Yes. Minpaw with the bucket at the buzzer of the half to give Indiana State a 34-33 lead at halftime. A hustling play by Rachel Minpaw for her first field goal, and now it's Robin Pinchton's turn to be concerned. But the Redbirds, a good first half, the 8 seed trying to work on the upset, trailing the 2nd seeded Indiana State Sycamores 34-33. Rachel Minpaw with the stick back of a miss by Lish at the end of the half. Let's go to Jill Hutchison with Jim Wheaty.
Thank you.
Coach, you wanted to take away transition control boards. How do you feel your kids have performed?
I think we're getting our butts kicked on the boards right now. I'm not real happy, especially on the offensive board. It doesn't seem like we're getting any second chance opportunities. I think we're doing a decent job of attacking the zone, but we're standing around watching the kids shoot. Right now, our defense has got to crank up, kind of how it was yesterday in the first half. I think Illinois State's intensity level is a lot higher than ours right now.
Good luck in the second half, Jim.
All right, Mercy Health Plans and innovative health on the boards. This is the hustle play that ended the half. Rachel Menpaugh chasing down the miss by Lish. Indiana State leads by 1 at half. By Ameren, a legion of men and women making sure the night lights of the neighborhood flicker to life when called upon. Go to Ameren.com to learn more.
Surprisingly, Illinois State with that 44% field goal. Indiana State has shot the ball so well during this tournament. They're kind of even on the threes, and Illinois State has dominated that. But the turnovers for Illinois State and the points off of turnovers are probably the biggest difference in the game right now.
Indiana State went on a 5-0 run in the last 77 seconds of the first half, but they only have a 1-point lead. Clark walked. And you can see that Jim Whitty right away wants to get Ashley Clark established in the second half. She had 24 against Drake, but only 1 point and 1 rebound in the first half.
Well, Clark keeps trying to attack the basket. I'm wondering if she may be more open at the elbow, and she can hit that shot, but that could be a vulnerable place in that zone.
Donovan for 3, huge. Katie Donovan gets the 3-pointer, her 35th of the year. She's only 26% beyond the arc, but she gets that 3, and Illinois State has the lead.
Indiana State really trying to work that short corner with Weddle.
Clark leaves it thin. Weddle underneath, looking to get rescued. Instead, Herrica steals it.
I tell you, the biggest surprise of this tournament could be Illinois State's defense.
McCracken, how about 6 points by Illinois State on threes to start the second half?
You know, coaches talk a lot about the first 5 minutes of the second half. Illinois State has come out with some good focus and intensity, both ends of the floor.
How about 8 unanswered points? Donovan's 3, timeout Indiana State. A Donovan 3, a McCracken 3. A steal by McCormick, a 2 by Donovan. Illinois State, the 8th seed, starting to feel it now. They lead by 7. Illinois State on an 8-0 run to take a 7-point lead. This is a team that went 10-17 in the regular season. And yet, Robin Pinchton said the light has turned on for everyone. A brand new season. They've played like that. And look at the points off turnovers. We thought this would be flip-flop.
Absolutely. In fact, Indiana State's caught up with Illinois State's 11 turnovers in a big hurry the first couple minutes of this half.
Short corner. Weddle not there. McCormick with the rebound. Donovan on a breakout.
Again, that's exactly what Jim Whitty was trying to prevent, was Donovan getting open off of that transition. She is so quick in the open court.
10-0 run to start this half, and in a span of 2 minutes, Indiana State trying to find a way to get a bucket here. Beglin. Rebound to Herricus. 9-point lead in the ball for Illinois State, and then Beglin picks McCracken. Melanie Beglin, the money player for this team, when they need it the most, picks McCracken and gets a 2.
That's what amazes me about Mel Beglin. She can turn it on and off. I mean, she can just be tremendous, and she has been playing a good, solid 40 minutes in this tournament.
Donovan's been aggressive in the second half. Ill-advised shot, maybe, from Hallstrom.
Not a real patient look at the basket, I don't think, by Holly Hallstrom. It really looks as though Indiana State wants to go in and out, and they can't get it in.
Illinois State preventing those interior passes. This time Hallstrom runs the floor. Misses the shot, and Rodolfi's got the board. 7-point lead for Illinois State. We played 3 minutes in the second half. Beglin trying to get it done for Indiana State.
Isn't that amazing? She could pass that shut up all day, and when they've got to have it, she'll step up and take it. What a competitor.
Only 15 made all year, 2 in this game. Timeout Illinois State. Indiana State getting Beglin 5 straight points, but Robin Pinchton's team leading by 4. Beglin on her own run of 5-0 to keep Indiana State in the hunt.
It'll be interesting to see what adjustments Illinois State makes guarding Melanie Beglin now.
McCormick goes deep against Verhoff on the press break. Great shot by McCormick. A thin angle, and that thing rolled in. She's got 11.
Good play out of the timeout by Robin Pinchton, really exploiting that full court pressure.
Nikki Hall, offensive foul, trying to go on the baseline. Hericus took the charge.
Nikki Hall has been the go-to player inside for the Sycamores. 10 points so far in this game.
Indiana State trying to crank up their press here a little bit. McCracken
being very methodical, bringing the ball up the floor against that pressure.
She had McCormick wide open. Nobody was guarding her. And she decided to work against Beglin anyway. Rebound to Verhoff. Herrick is trying to get it down with the left hand. They're going to the short corner. That thing
They definitely are trying to hit that.
McCormick out again. Jackie McCormick trying to get a three-point play. She's going to get 2 free throws here. Here's Weddle fouled her. That's 3 on Kristen Weddle.
You know, Illinois State is really getting out in transition, partially because the point guard, whoever's at the top on that Indiana State defense, is going to the ball rather than going back as a defensive safety. And I think Jim Weedy really wants to send either the 1 or 2 back and then challenge the ball with the other 2 perimeter players.
Jim Weedy, his 5th year at Indiana State. 2 years ago, his team led the nation in scoring. Lost to SMS in the finals of this tournament. That year was held in Des Moines. 2 free throws down from McCormick. She's 3 of 4 at the line. Has 13 points in the game. It's an 8-point lead again for Illinois State. Beglin. Not this time. A 3 off the mark. Foul in Illinois State. 15:43 remaining in our championship game. Katie Donovan's picked up her 3rd foul. Usually the home team has struggled in this tournament. I mean, down through the years, the home team has really had problems. Last year it wasn't the case. SMS won. They also won that time I mentioned. They won with Jackie Stiles. But usually you host, you lose. But that's not been the case here with Illinois State.
No, in fact, I think they have played up for their home crowd, and certainly they're playing their very best basketball of the season right now.
Verhoff drills a 3 on the nice skip pass. She's got 6 on 2 threes. It's a 5-point game. Jackie McCormick, a deep 3. A deep 3. McCormick has 16.
You know, the last 3 by Verhoff was just as deep. I think they're feeling that they can't get it on the arc there. They've got to pull it out.
Beglin jump stop. Menpaw not able to knock it down.
Nice tip there by Holly Hallstrom to give the Birds a chance to get the ball.
In an instance where Beglin gets that deep, might as well shoot it. McCracken, she traveled.
I think she got way too deep to do what she wanted to do offensively.
Story emerging here. A possible 8 seed advancing to the NCAA tournament. Clark is getting a lot of attention in there for Indiana State.
Boy, she gets the ball and they just sink on her. There's at least 3 players guarding her with the ball.
Beglin this time jump stop and shot not there. Lish gets fouled.
Lish is a kid that's a natural 3, but is so effective when she gets in the paint because she's strong, she's mobile, she attacks the basket extremely well.
A career-high 26 against Bradley in the quarterfinals. Early on, though, she had kind of a... Well, she was tough last year. She had a great game on television that we had, but she had 15 in a big win they had against Indiana.
And that's always going to be a big win for Indiana State over Indiana. That's a huge rivalry in the Hoosier land.
Our old friend Kathy Bennett coaching that team.
Absolutely. Kathy Bennett, MVC coach. In fact, there were four coaches in the Big Ten that came out of the Missouri Valley Conference.
Bluter at Iowa was at Drake. Lisa Stone at Wisconsin was at Drake. And Cheryl Burnett was at Southwest Missouri, now at Michigan. Donovan stripped. 6-point lead for Illinois State. 2-on-1. Verhoff. Beglin, she walked. Good hustle by Illinois State, getting back on defense.
No question. Robin Pinch is not real happy with some of the dribble penetrations, though, by her Redbird team.
We mentioned the turnovers by Illinois State, but Robin Pinch's team has forced now 14 on Indiana State. Both teams have 14 turnovers.
That's a turnaround, needless to say. And Jim Wheaty's still got to be a little concerned about his defense. They have dominated so much defensively. In just the last couple possessions now, they've gotten the turnovers they want.
Beglin gambling. They had a big on little underneath. Heracus was guarded by Beglin and could not finish.
Yeah, you know, watch Clark inside. She's working really hard to get position. Michelle Heracus trying very hard to contain her and get the front, or at least challenge the inbounds pass, and she's hooking her pretty consistently. It's going to be 4 on Heracus and force her back to the bench. She's undoubtedly the best defensive post for the Redbirds, and that brings on the rookie, LaShawn Johnson.
Kind of the secret weapon for the Birds in the first half. Clark, nothing is happening underneath for her. Illinois State has thrown a red blanket on her when she gets the ball under the goal. Six-point lead for the Birds. Again, the 8th seed playing at home. 12-17 record. They have a 6-point lead. The new season, as Robin Pinchton said, has been very good to the Birds. That player has been unbelievable. McCormick has hit so many big shots.
And she's such a tough matchup for the other team. I mean, you put a guard on her, she goes over the top. You put a bigger kid on her, then her footwork is so quick she gets around him.
Clark tied up inside again. Jackie McCormick. Now we could put a whole highlight tape together of her plays in this tournament, just like this.
It's her change of speed, Mitch, and she's exceptionally good on that spin move. And when she can get isolated where there's no help defense, she's very effective with that. But I think change of speed, personally, is more important than quickness in the game of basketball.
You know, she's not going to win, I could imagine, as Verhoff missing on that one. That's reaching over as Rodolphe. Her third foul. Jackie McCormick's not going to win the conditioning mile run. But you know what? She's got great feet.
Oh, and quick hands.
Yeah.
Surprisingly. In fact, if you listen to Robin Pinchton talk about her, she wasn't sure Jackie could play in her system because she's so laid back. And Robin is so intense. And it's become a great relationship and a strong respect for one another.
Birds throw it away. They're trying to get a little inside out. Johnson trying to get it back out to McCracken. 8-point lead for Illinois State. 12:35 remaining in the game.
Indiana State defense is still hanging in there. They aren't quite as aggressive in passing lanes as they were earlier, nor is their ball pressure consistently as strong.
Rodolphe. She gets tied up.
I think that's a foul on McCormick.
It's only her second.
Reaching in there, and again, that's one of McCormick's strengths, dropping in on post players, helping out.
Correction, McCormick has drawn her third foul, so Jackie McCormick now has 5 team fouls on Illinois State in the second half. Beglin, that time shot it instead of passed it in there. 14 points for Melanie Beglin.
Boy, Beglin is playing right up in Donovan's face every single time she catches the ball.
Johnson working underneath and could not get the stick back. Lish.
Oh, that's her strength, Mitch. She is so good going to the basket, especially with that right hand.
Strong.
Now that's made it a 4-point ball game. Indiana State's not going to go away.
And Jackie McCormick says, I'll break the press. Just everybody go down and lean on me. LaShawn Johnson scores. There's a bonus basket for the Birds.
Oh, that's her first basket in Missouri Valley play in the tournament.
And after the last attempt, you didn't think she could get it up to the goal, but nice move. 4 fouls on Rodolphe of Indiana State. A bonus bucket in Illinois State, leading by 6. Singular wireless. LaShawn Johnson just had 2 points for Illinois State. You see this Redbird crowd sensing it. Johnson 0 for 1. She's 39% at the line for the year. But you know what? The last miss was so bad it was a long rebound.
Really,
they got it back. It was almost a blessing.
These fouls are really becoming an issue here. 2 players with 4 are the inside players. That's why you're seeing LaShawn Johnson here. And whoa, the young lady hits her free throw. That's big time. A
3-point play for LaShawn Johnson.
It's only the 10th made free throw by Johnson this season.
Beglin continuing to work the middle. Lish.
That's what makes her good. Look at her follow that shot and get her own board.
Chasing her own miss. Menpaw nowhere to go. LaShawn Johnson's in the way.
Oh, Johnson just killed her teammate in there on that board. Johnson and Amber Shelton just collide. Look at, she just knocked it away from her. I'll tell you what, though, keeping Stephanie Lish off the boards would be a challenge for any team. That girl can attack the boards as well as the best of them.
Beglin uses the screen and fouled by Johnson. I'm telling you, run into LaShawn Johnson any way, shape, or form, you're going to feel it today
Absolutely.
And tomorrow.
She's a strong kid, and I really think she has a bright future. She's a kid that never shot the ball in high school. She was just the designated screener and rebounder. So she's come a long way.
Fresh 30 for Indiana State, Jim Wheaty's team. Trailing by 7, 55-48. Menpaw not there on that shot. Out of bounds to Illinois State. Indiana State is shooting 36%. Right now, Indiana State setting at 48 points. Now, they have scored over 70 points in 21 of the last 22 games, but they're setting at 48 with 10:46 to go.
Well, and that's really unusual because they've been, the kicker with this is they're getting those 70 points without shooting a whole lot of threes. That's how good they are getting open shots, going to the basket, finding their open player usually.
Donovan using the screen. Johnson. We got a little Shaq attack going on here. The Valley has its own version of Shaq. And tell me if this isn't Shaq right here.
You can't fault her for effort following her shot, but oh my goodness, she's a strong young lady. It's the innocent look.
Yeah. And Lish is looking at every body part she's got going, man, is my elbow still on here?
Right.
7-point lead, Illinois State. Johnson, and again, LaShawn Johnson with 5 points off the bench with Hericus in foul trouble.
I hate to tell you, but Johnson could very well career anytime now.
Beglin shoots a quick 3, and maybe just a bit of panic from Indiana State on that shot attempt. We've seen Mel shoot a couple early in the possession. McCracken, Beglin nice trying to reach around. And now a throwaway. Beglin diving for it.
That was a great steal by Melanie Beglin, and Verhoff just let her too far on the pass. Look at her go for that ball. That kid's going to try everything.
Melanie Beglin trying to lead her team back, but Illinois State, the 8 seed, leads 57-48, under 10 to go. Melanie Beglin had kind of the playground steal, wrapping around, reaching around, but then could not get the basket. So Illinois State keeps their 9-point lead at 57-48, 9:54 to go in the game.
Melanie Beglin is just such a competitor. She's one of my favorite players. I just think she plays with a passion for the game. A little bit more pressure now by Indiana State, trying to crank up their defense a little bit.
Nice take on the baseline. Ashley Sandstead gets her first basket of the game.
Check out the bench from Illinois State. Didn't play for 2 ball games, and all of a sudden they are becoming big contributors.
It is the story of the game to me. That and Ashley Clark only having 1 point for Indiana State. Robin Pinchton's use of her bench. And Clark not getting much. Here's Ashley Clark.
Now that's a typical good move for Clark that she would hit. And now that they've got Johnson in there, she's playing behind her. That means Clark's going to get more touches.
A foul, I think, on Beglin. Robin Pinchon wanted timeout, but Pinchon wanted a timeout. Instead, she's going to get the third foul on Melanie Beglin. So she's like, no timeout, no timeout.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, no timeout, no timeout. It's third foul on her. Good, okay.
You know what? It's going to be critical for Mel Beglin to keep her poise here. She needs to not let her frustrations take over, because she's got to be the difference maker for the Sycamores.
You know, Ashley Clark's game is reminding me a little bit of Alex Cook's game for Northern Iowa in the semifinals.
Absolutely. Alex Cook, I think, one of the best posts. Nice pass by Jackie McCormick inside.
Amber Shelton has 6. I'll be honest with you, I thought Illinois State might be fatigued. Instead, they look like the team. They have energy because Robin Pinchon was able and showed the courage to use her bench. Now she has momentum and energy with 8:18 to go from an NCAA bid.
Well, you've got to believe that Indiana State is tightening up here. You know, they were the favorite. They've just come off of winning 14 out of their last 15. They blew Illinois State last weekend. And I think as they've lost the lead at the beginning of this half, they've really started to tighten their whole game.
Out of bounds. It's going to be a shot clock violation. Ball hit the bottom of the backboard. 7:56 to go. Robin Pinchon's new season here in Normal. Close to a championship. 61-48, the 8 seed on the verge of going to the NCAA tournament out of the Valley. Let's take a look at the Nestle Purina brackets, brought to you by Purina Dog Food. Incredible dog food, incredible dogs. Here's how we arrived at this point.
Well, and notice Illinois State upsetting the top seed SMS by 4. Then they go against UNI. Now, UNI was almost the top seed a week ago. They beat them in the semis. Indiana State has a blowout game against Bradley. And really, it wasn't the score is not indicative of what happened to them against Drake. It was a much closer game, I think, than the score shows. But it's been an interesting, wide-open season in the Missouri Valley Conference, and I think parity has arrived.
Beglin a 3. 17 in the game, including 2 threes.
Beglin, that's only her 15th 3 of the season. But you know, she's a kid that just does what she has to do. She tries to make other people around her successful. If anything, Mel Beglin needs to play with more confidence.
Illinois State is getting help from a lot of folks, including their freshmen.
The 9-0 run by Illinois State has been fueled by 3 freshmen. LaShawn Johnson with 5, Amber Shelton with 2, and Ashley Sandstead with 2 more.
This time, Jackie McCormick, another big shot, but this one goes off. 10-point lead, Illinois State. 7 minutes to play in the championship game of the Valley. Lish just inside the arc. That's certainly not her shot. She's better when she's going out the goal.
And Illinois State totally backed off of that. Didn't even contest the shot. Well, she's only 2 for 15 for the season, so for good reason they backed off of her.
Illinois State now, Jill, spreading the floor. They're going to try to run a clock here or try to get an easy shot. They go inside. Close. Foul.
Oh,
it's going to be on Rodolphe.
Rodolphe's 5th. That's huge. Indiana State bench not real pleased with that call. And you're right, they spread it out. I think Rodolphe got her going for the pass more than the shot. I'm not sure where the call came in there, but regardless, it's going to sit her on the bench, and she has just been a force on the boards for them. She's a kid that started out real strong, kind of hit a little slump, and has come back the last, 3 weeks of the season. Rachel Menpaw, again, a kid who started earlier, is going to have to fill that space, and she's certainly capable. Again, Menpaw needs to play an assertive game here in the paint.
Free throw off from Hallstrom, just a 54%er. She's 0 for 2 in this game. Hallstrom, a junior college transfer from Kirkwood, had 10 rebounds in the Northern Iowa win.
Why is it post kids don't shoot free throws well, and they're the ones at the line all the time?
Most of the time.
Absolutely.
You sound like a former guard, Joe.
Yeah, right.
Let me shoot those for you. 11-point lead for Robin Pinchin's Illinois State Redbirds. The 8th seed with a record of 12-17 leads by 11 with 6:34 to go.
It is amazing how this team has come together, and Robin talked about the light going on. I think that just happened this week.
Beglin almost lost it, got it back, and picks up her 18th and 19th points. Nine-point lead, Illinois State.
The turnovers are matched at 17 apiece. Surprising that Indiana State has turned it over 17 times.
A bucket, huge by LaShawn Johnson. Off the glass, 7 points. And Jim Wheaty's going to be looking at, where's that scouting report?
Where'd she come from? Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's kind of like Nikki Hall. Two kids that are unexpected, really making a difference.
Inside bucket, Menpaw. 9-point lead, Illinois State. Now a steal,
Nice
Beglin.
effort by Beglin.
But no bucket.
My gosh, they're playing Annie over the bucket.
Donovan's picked up her 4th foul, and she did it to prevent an easy basket by Beglin.
There's an awful lot of time left in this game for Katie Donovan to be sitting with 4 fouls. 5.5 minutes left.
Substitution for Indiana State.
You know, it's interesting. Jim Wheaty has set Ashley Clark on the bench. He's going with Rachel Menpaw and Nikki Hall, both of whom have been successful offensively today. Man, Melanie Beglin is doing everything for the Sycamores right now.
Trying to do it by herself, or at least lead the others to follow.
Her 21st point of the game now. She's 7 for 15 from the floor.
Seven-point lead, Illinois State at the 5:13 mark. Basket underneath. The bench is huge right now for Illinois State.
You know, they'll credit Jackie McCormick. She just stands there, looks for the opening, and finds the pass.
Foul on Illinois State.
I'll tell you, this is going to be a shoot-a-thon at the end if these inside fouls continue. LaShawn Johnson got called for that one, but nice pass in there on that last replay.
Free throw for Menpaw. She's got 6.
Menpaw's trying to step it up here. That's just her 3rd point since she came in the game for Laura Rudolphi. Ashley Clark back on the floor as well.
7-point lead again for Illinois State. Just under 5 minutes remaining in the championship game of Hoops in the Heartland. Presented by State Farm Insurance and America's Renaissance Conference, the Valley. Bench points, gigantic. It's just huge that they picked up 20 points off the bench. 7 from LaShawn Johnson.
And we expected just the opposite in this game, Mitch.
LaShawn Johnson ISO'd again on the post. Offensive foul.
Nice defense by Rachel Menpaw holding that position. Menpaw did a good job playing with her feet. And I don't think that was a flop. I think she got hit.
And again, I don't think you flop on LaShawn Johnson.
No, I wouldn't.
I mean, it might be just the inertia that knocks you over. That's a big, powerful kid. It's interesting to see how she progresses in her career, as you mentioned.
And Michelle Herricus back on the floor with 4 fouls for the Redbirds. Menpaw is working hard in the paint.
Beglin. Lish. 17 to shoot. Beglin loads up. Ashley Clark, no. Big board by Amber Shelton.
A lot of white shirts on the rebound there. If they could have held on to it, they definitely had position.
4 to go.
There's still a lot of time in this game, and the Sycamores know it.
McCormick, offensive foul. Once again, Menpaw takes the charge. 4 fouls on Jackie McCormick. 3:46 to go. The 8 seed leads by 7. This gal right here is trying to get it done by herself. 21 points. Ashley Clark, 1 point in this game. She's 5th in the conference in scoring, Jill, at 15 a game.
But you know what? I think Ashley Clark is going to show up. She's got 4 more minutes here, 3:45, and I got to believe she's going to make some noise.
See if they have a set play here out of Jim Wheaty's timeout. Beglin, a deep 3. Nope, off the front iron. Tie up. Illinois State gets the arrow.
You know, we were talking about Jim Wheaty a minute ago. I can't say enough about what he has done with this program. He took it when it was really, really down, and he made some changes. He's built a great staff this year, and he's brought in some quality athletes, and coming from a team that didn't even play in the tournament to one that contends.
A block as Menpaw able to swat it out on Shelton's attempt.
Rachel Menpaw is having a ball game here. She's playing great at both ends of the floor. That was after jumping, coming down, and going back up.
15 to shoot. The Birds have time to run a little time off and then get McCormick or McCracken a look. McCracken, big bucket. A 9-point lead for Illinois State. A team on its home floor getting red hot. A 3 by Beglin.
Gosh. Beglin is just amazing for a kid that didn't shoot the 3 all season.
6-point lead. McCormick. .240 to go in the championship. Timeout, and a good timeout by Robin Pinchton. There wasn't much good happening for the Birds with 2:37 left. And they got 10 seconds left on the shot clock.
Well, the Birds have done a good job offensively, really opening the floor up. And they just need to keep their offense moving, get some cuts going in there. You know Indiana State is going to try and crank their defense.
All right, let's do our players of the game, brought to you by State Farm. For Illinois State, Jackie McCormick. If they hang on, that's your player of the tournament right there.
I think you're absolutely right. McCormick has made a difference in every game so far. 18 points, 8 assists. I mean, she's doing it all.
And for Indiana State, Melanie Beglin. And if they pull this out, that's your player of the tournament.
You know what? You're absolutely right, Mitch. 24 points. I mean, she's having a great tournament right now. Her steals are continually threatening to everybody she guards.
They want to get McCracken the ball. 6 to shoot. McCracken. No, but a board underneath and a foul.
I think that may be on Menpaw. They had a double team on that rebound. Indiana State's going hard to the glass right now, and they do have control of the boards right this minute. 36 to 35, though, a narrow margin.
How big has Amber Shelton been in this game? The freshman from Warden, Illinois, a career-high 10 rebounds, Jill. That's 32 rebounds now for Shelton in the last 5 games.
She's one of the kids on this Illinois State team who has played in championship games. She played at Carrollton in Class A and took her team there twice, then went to Edwardsville. Her last 2 years brought them to the state tournament.
6-point lead. She missed the front end of a 1-and-1. Menpaw in trouble. Beglin. Herricus with a big board underneath.
Six points, 2 minutes. There's still plenty of time for the Sycamores.
15 to shoot. 1:53 to go. Beglin again with the YMCA noon ball reach around on the steal. Contact. Basket. Estelle Steve going to count it here. Let's see. They're all going to talk about it.
He's calling a block on Megan McCracken.
Basket is good. 26 for Beglin.
Big play here. There's a tip out from behind. Here comes Beglin one-on-one. Boy, you know she's going to the hole there.
Three-point play, Beglin. It's a one-possession game with 1:45 left. Beglin, 27 points. Let's take a look now at the play and the contact.
I'll tell you what, Beglin comes in here. She definitely dropped that shoulder a little bit. And it looked like the Birds were pretty well set on that one. Tough call against Megan McCracken.
Beglin 9 of 20, 3 threes, and a three-point play now. 6 of 8 at the foul stripe. 27 points, her career high 32 this year at Wichita State. But it's a one-possession game with 1:45 to go.
Plenty of time both ways. Birds need to score on this possession, not give Indiana State an opening. And on the other side, Indiana State needs to try and either get a board or get a turnover. Oh, Amber Shelton with some blood on the knee is going to have to come out momentarily.
Illinois State is in the 1-1. However, Indiana State is in the double bonus.
Steve Stelz is calling for a substitute. And here's another sub that has not played yet, Sophie Tirtio. Sophie had a tremendous game against Indiana State on January 1st. First and only time her parents got to see her play. She's a young lady from Belgium.
She had 13 points, 6 rebounds, 3 steals in that game. How about just setting the whole game, and now you come in to the game at this time?
Yeah, have a little pressure, and there's a turnover immediately.
They stole it from Tirtio, and contact, and a foul on Illinois State. It's on Katie Donovan. She's fouled out.
Wow. Indiana State is becoming the aggressor here, and that's becoming the difference in the ball game.
And it was Tirtio with the turnover coming right into the game, and they took it from her.
Whoa, another call that could have gone either direction, frankly.
And let me correct myself. That's only 4 fouls on Katie Donovan. Only 4, not 5. Lish with the free throw, and it's a 2-point game.
Amber Shelton back on the floor now. We got a ball game, Mitch.
It's been a great tournament. This game has been indicative of the way this tournament has been. Lish gets in both 1-point game, Jill. 93 seconds left. Indiana State cranking up the heat and their pressure. McCormick has been money throughout the entire tournament. She'll hit a 3 from there. Looking to drive, 10 to shoot.
She's got a mismatch here with Nikki Hall as well. They're going to flatten this out.
Shoots it over Menpaw. No. Rebound, Verhoff. Indiana State can take the lead.
Still plenty of time. It's going to be important to not foul either team right now.
Nikki Hall inside. No. Donovan. Big-time defense. McCracken with it. 1-point lead for Illinois State. The shot clock and game clock, there's a 17-second differential.
Illinois State will be in the bonus. Indiana State the double bonus in this situation.
Timeout by Illinois State.
A good timeout by the Redbirds. I think when you have a young, inexperienced team, it's important to take the timeout, get everybody's head on the same page. Sometimes with an experienced team, it's smart not to and not let the defense set.
And the throw-in will be over near the Illinois State bench. A side throw-in here for the Redbirds.
Indiana State has done a good job denying those throw-ins. Illinois State and Indiana State each with 1 timeout remaining, both of them fulls.
Let's take a look at a reset here. There's your timeout situation, and you mentioned the foul situation. Illinois State still not in the double bonus. 17.4-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock.
No matter what, Indiana State's going to have another possession regardless.
Hericus McCormick, big bucket, and a foul. Jackie McCormick with the basket. 20 points for McCormick, and a chance to give him a 2-possession lead at 28.7 seconds.
This is a clear out for Jackie McCormick. Notice that the offense clears out to the opposite side. That gives Jackie that one-on-one.
A great inbounds play by Robin Pinchton and her staff to get McCormick rather, that look. Jackie McCormick. No, it's still a 1-possession game. 3 points. This 3 would tie it by Beglin. Yeah, she ties it. 30 points for Beglin. Tied at 22 seconds remaining in regulation. Mel Beglin with 30 points for Indiana State.
Unbelievable shot. And Mitch, she was 6 feet off the 3-point arc.
This is a Styles-like performance by Melanie Beglin.
What a shot.
She's only 26% from 3 on the year. She had 13 makes coming into the game. Today, Jill, she has 4 in this game.
Oh, the other bench thinks it's a 2. I don't think so. She was so far off the line.
However, it's Illinois State, the 8th seed, the team with the losing record that has new life, reborn in this last 3 days, that has the ball last, and the money player in Jackie McCormick.
No question. And the next foul by Indiana State will be the double bonus. So both teams will be in the double bonus here. Illinois State with the ball, but Indiana State is in their best situation, and that's full court pressure.
The officials are looking to see if it's a 2 or a 3.
Oh my goodness.
It might have been a 4.
Yeah, I thought she was well off the line.
Yes, she is. You can see her feet there. She's a foot behind it.
Yeah. Big games, big players step up. Melanie Beglin and Jackie McCormick have just been outstanding today. I still can't believe that Ashley Clark has not scored, Mitch. Now,
1 point. She has 1 point.
That's the biggest surprise of the game, probably.
So Illinois State, on this Cinderella-like incredible story, that'd be one of the bigger moments on this campus in either men's or women's athletics, is sitting here with possession, 94 feet from a pot of gold in an NCAA bid with a losing record. 22 seconds remaining in regulation.
It'll be interesting to see if Indiana State protects the front court from the Birds, since they burned them on a deep backdoor last time they had an inbounds play here.
Jim Weedy has seen the way Illinois State is lined up, and he wants timeout.
The officials are still looking at the monitor, and that's allowing him to change his defense.
Okay, they're checking the time now. They've agreed that it's a 3, that they want to get they're going to add 1.4 seconds, Jill, onto the game clock. So instead of 22 seconds, the officials alertly have put 1.4 seconds on the clock.
Good job by the officials. This has been a great crew.
But you know, Jim Weedy got a little bit of a free timeout there.
Yeah.
Illinois State came out, lined up, and Weedy saw the way they were going to line up without, or did he call timeout? If not, while the officials were conferring.
Right. There's no timeout because they're still both sitting there with 1 full apiece. And now they're getting the explanation from the officials of what the decision was off the monitor. But it looks as if Robin Pinchton's doing a little bit of picture drawing herself there. So we may have a couple of changes.
It is countermeasures. Spy versus spy here. 23.4 seconds left. They line up in the same formation.
Yep. And realistically, I would assume, whoa, I'm surprised Amber Shelton's lining up on that side of the basket.
All right, McCormick.
But there's got to be more than one option here. Whoa, they're not even going to guard McCormick up the floor.
This is for an NCAA bid right here. Illinois State throws it in. An 8 seed is going to the tournament. 10 seconds left.
Jackie McCormick's got to have the ball in her hands here. She has been the one that's made the difference.
McCormick. Yeah, she got it inside of a second. Jackie McCormick, who has hit big shots throughout the entire tournament. throws the ball in the hoop, and Robin Pinchton's team is going to the NCAA tournament by putting 3 games in 3 days together on their home court as an 8 seed.
That's unbelievable. You got to feel horrendous for Indiana State. Great season, great effort, and one player took it away from them. Great performance by Illinois State. How many times has Jackie McCormick won a game on a last-second shot?
In one of the great moments in
Two seniors there.
Valley television history. Here's the play, Jill.
Well, and watch McCormick. She really worked that clock down so they weren't going to get another possession. Her traditional spin move back to her left, and look at her fade off of that shot. That's a great play by Jackie McCormick, and there is nothing the Sycamores can do.
All right, now, the streamers, they threw the streamers on the floor here in celebration, but there's going to be time put back on the clock. Let's take a look at this. When the ball goes through the net, you're at 0.8 seconds.
Yeah, no question.
Indiana State, first of all, they got to clean off the floor.
Wow.
Of all the streamers.
Wow, wow.
Indiana State has got to try to get a prayer up here, trailing 72-70, but there is 0.8 seconds left. There's a look at the floor. A premature celebration by the fans here at Illinois State, while Jim Wheaty's going to try to figure out a way to win it.
No question. You can see the clock above the basket. We're going to take another look right here. Look at Jackie. Spins back to her left. Fade away from 2 defenders, not just one. Huge, huge, huge shot.
A Rawlings play of the game, the play of the season.
But it ain't over till it's over either. There's 0.8 of a second left. Jim Wheaty, you know, has got to go deep. They can't dribble the ball up the floor. Will Illinois State guard the ball? Will they pull everybody back into the front court?
At a men's game earlier this year, Northern Iowa beating Wichita State. A similar situation. There was more time on the clock, though, for Northern Iowa, but they hit a shot in this instance on a 3 that won the game in Wichita.
Katie Ward has just checked into the game. Katie Ward, a 6'6" kid for the Redbirds. Guess what? They're going to guard the ball.
The inbounder. You bet.
And here's the other key. Illinois State cannot foul. It's a double bonus. So if there's a hope and a prayer up in the air, they cannot go for that alley-oop pass to the extent that they would foul the receiver.
Many times team in this situation run what is commonly known as the Valpo play now. Valparaiso in the men's NCAA wanted a situation where they just lob it up and then throw to a player running by. But is 0.8 seconds enough time to get that
done? All that done. Yeah, because, well, there is to do that. If they can catch it in the front court and then make one pass and a shot, there is plenty of time for that. You know, it's a better chance than the Christian Leitner play. But Katie Ward is going to be tough to throw over.
And it's going to be Ashley Clark.
Is there another timeout? Yes.
Yeah, Robin Pinchton called it to see the way Indiana State lined up.
Yep. Oh, it's strategy time on the benches here.
If Illinois State pulls this off, and it looks like it's going to take a miracle by Indiana State, Robin Pinchton and her staff did an excellent job in this game. One, having the courage to play their bench.
I agree.
In the first half, and it's going to pay off possibly with a championship and an NCAA trip.
No question. I mean, what they have done in a week's time is unbelievable. I mean, they lose 68-48 to the same team.
They stayed a shot in this game.
Honestly, I don't think Melanie Beglin could have done any more than what she's given. She has left it all on the court. She has just been, she's a bulldog today. She's done it all. Now, who would you want to get this shot? Surely.
Well, you got Verhoff as your best three-point shooter. I'd say either Verhoff or Beglin.
Beglin's been a lot hotter today than Verhoff has.
Yeah, this is the key, though, is this pass from Ashley Clark.
And Illinois State needs to be switching everything on the floor.
There's a touch. Horn sounds. Illinois State, an 8 seed with a 13-17 record, Jill, is going to the NCAA tournament as the Valley's automatic qualifier.
Well, for a team that struggled all season long, they certainly have rectified the situation in one weekend with 3 big wins and a great senior season for Jackie McCormick.
Jackie McCormick, the game winner, knocked down the shot, less than a second. Illinois State, the victory. And the Redbirds, with a 13-17 record, hit this shot. Jackie McCormick, a shot that will not be forgotten in Illinois State sports history. The Redbirds are going to the show. For Jill Hutchison, this is Mitch Holtis. Thanks for a great Valley season in America's Renaissance Conference.